So I discussed with you guys, we know that today we are looking for buys, right, on Euro USD.
Yeah.
So we've rejected from this swing low, huge rejection. Yesterday we closed bullish. So today we are expecting continuation to the upside. That's our daily bias. Our first target is previous day's high, and then we will be watching to see if price can expand towards this level. Now, since we are bullish, we can then go to the 4 hour to find supporting PDRAs where we can expect price to sell into it before the bullish move, right? So on the 4 hour, there is this 4 hour fair value gap. Then we traded into it during landing session, right? So let's go to the 15 minutes. So that gray box or area is our 4 hour imbalance or fair value gap. So we traded into it. Where is my Asia session? Yeah, so there's Asia. Asia first of all traded into it, but you know that Asia is usually going to accumulate and generate liquidity. So these buys do not matter. So London swept Asia highs and then it started dropping down. Then now we took Asia lows back into the 4 hour imbalance. And like I said, the New York session is the easiest to trade. And even though the landing key zone starts at 7 a.m. New York time, if there is a high impact news at 8:30, we like to wait for the 8:30 manipulation. So let's go to the M5 and you realize that 8:30 news was released on this candle. Now that candle swept this low at 8:10, but that low was not swept on the pound. That same low was not swept on the pound. 8:10 low was not swept on the pound. All right, great. And again, we have another SMT where this is the dollar index. We have this 830 high that was taken on the dollar index, but that 830 low was not taken on the euro. So we have like double SMT divergence. But overall, we've made higher highs on M5 on the dollar. We've also made higher lows on the pound. So dollar is sweeping highs, the pound is not sweeping highs. And so these are SMT divergence that we are saying. So we don't have any proper change in state of delivery or break of structure, but we entered with anticipation that price would start turning around because of the divergences. But ideally, we should wait for some significant SMT divergence, maybe once we close above these areas. Yeah, but we have an early entry that we are already in, and we are expecting price to push up. And the initial target can be at this high, and we have some more highs up here for target. So let's see how this goes. If you have any question, you can ask.
So when S&T divergence is on the bottom, you expect price to rise. When it's on the top, you expect price to fall, correct?
Yeah, but it's not random. It's not that anytime it happens, it has to turn around. It has to be um it has to be in the flow of your bias or direction in a point of interest at a particular time of day. Other than that, you're going to see divergences all over the place and they are not gonna work out. So if you have a bias and price is in your PDRA that you're expecting price to respect and you are in a key time of day, then that should probably work out. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's basically it. There's
Cash
another
out.
high impact news at let me see, is at 10 or so, in 51 minutes time. So yeah, I think 10. At 10, there's another high impact news. So if this does not work out, then we are going to wait for the 10 high impact news to probably manipulate and cause the real move. Yeah. So it can be tricky when we have um, high impact news at separate times during the New York session, because you don't know which one will cause the real move. So you can definitely trade the first one. If it doesn't work out for you, you can wait for the second news release, and if you see any manipulations and you see an entry, you can jump on it. And you shouldn't be afraid in getting it wrong. Okay. Now we have another SMT, but with all these SMTs, you don't have any. For pound, we had a bullish change instead of delivery, but for the euro, we don't have. We have another SMT. We've taken this low on the pound, but we've not taken that low on euro. So many divergences on the lows. So what smart money is doing is he's accumulating longs. So it will accumulate, and it will start taking off aggressively. So the SMT it's not always gonna be straightforward that it happens and price just turns around. Sometimes you have your divergences and price will be accumulating, pairing orders, and then you start seeing aggressive candles pushing up. We've kind of made
Another one. Double top.
this side comes in at 0.134, 0.134. So that's a double top on the dollar, whilst the pound has taken the corresponding low. So that's SMT between the SY and the pound. The same thing, SMT between pound and the euro. So divergence is all over the place.
So that indicates that smart money is just starting to pair.
Yeah, it's just accumulating longs on the lows on pound. He has already accumulated longs here on the euro with this SMT that happened here. You can see this low on the pound was not taken, but that low was taken on euro. That was 8:30 news, and that was his accumulation for longs. And now on the pound, he's taking this low, which has not been taken on euro. So he's also accumulating longs on this low on the pound. Yeah. I'm looking at this fair value gap on the M5. I'm looking at it to see if we close above to use it as inversion fair value gap. You can see price is struggling to break it. Look at the bodies. Let me change the color of that imbalance. Change it to green.
So even though candles have closed through in it already, it still holds valid,
Come again?
that gap. So even though candles have already kind of closed almost fully through that gap, you still consider that a gap?
Like
Isn't the gap closed, basically?
right now it is acting as a resistance.
Resistance.
So we're expecting price to break it and use it as support. So the same thing on the dollar index. The corresponding imbalance is here. We are also respecting it. So we're expecting price to close through it and use it as resistance. So let's see what happens. You know, it can be very, very, very scary. You can see when I share the signal, price is just going back and forth, back and forth. And if you don't know what you are doing or what you are expecting, you might close, re-enter, and be all over the place.
Been there before.
Yeah. So with the signal I shared, we didn't have any confirmation. Um,
No change state of delivery.
nah, on the M1, I saw a change instead of delivery, but that's not solid enough. I'm sorry, we didn't have even a change instead of delivery. We just flipped some 1 minute imbalance, bearish imbalance. We closed above it, and that's when I shared the buy signal. But I saw this divergence. We took this low on the euro. We didn't take that low on the pound. So I was like, we're already in my 4 hour imbalance. My daily bias is bullish. 8:30 manipulation lower, confirm with SMT. So like I said, ideally we should wait for a change instead of delivery on M5, M15. So this is kind of an early entry. Yeah. So let's see how it plays out. Questions, guys. Questions. Now let's look at uh, NASDAQ. So NASDAQ, I'm expecting price to continue pushing up. And say we've come off this fair value gap on the daily really strongly. So from internal, I'm expecting price to attack the external highs as well as this rejection block. So yesterday price pushed up and it tapped some volume imbalance on the 4 hour. So I think that volume imbalance was yesterday's target. This gap. That was yesterday's target. But I'm still expecting bullish continuation. So today we've had a retracement, a Judah swing lower into this wick, as well as this 4 hour imbalance. So I'm expecting price to push up. I like this 4 hour closure. Okay, this candle is a very nice candle. 30 sweep the low and close nicely. So I'm watching the 15 minutes and I'm waiting for the 9:30 opening price. Like I said, there is another high impact news at 10. So for the indices, I'll be watching it after that high impact news. But if the 9:30 performs some significant manipulation lower, confirm the SMT, I might get in even before the 10 a.m. news because I wouldn't expect the 10 a.m. to manipulate further. We've already manipulated during at 9:30. So it depends on what 9:30 will do. Right now, the 8:30 news already gave us we already have some divergence on the lows between, you can see we've taken this low on NASDAQ, but that same low is not taken on the S&P 500 as my indicator is pointing to me. I can also show it to you here. You can see this low was not taken. There was a double bottom made. We didn't take that low on S&P 500, but we took that low on NASDAQ. So that's the divergence. We have a change state of delivery. We have this fair value gap here, but I'll still wait for the 9:30 open to see the kind of manipulation it's gonna give. So I'm watching these imbalances. So I'm waiting to see what we get at 9:30 open on these guys. So nicely, we are flipping the dollar index imbalance. If you close below it, that would be a very good indication of the sales that I'm expecting on the dollar. So whilst I'm looking for buys on the euro, and then the pound. I'm expecting the dollar to go down. Now, this is my analysis on the dollar. This is the daily chart. We had a higher time frame divergence between the dollar and the euro. This is the daily chart divergence. We didn't take this high on Friday, 22nd August. We didn't take that high on the DSY, but that high was that the corresponding low on the euro was taken. So that gave me kind of a long-term bias, okay, long-term bias that you're gonna go all the way down to this rejection block down here as well as the low here. But I'm just targeting this rejection block for the day and as well as previous day's low. I'm also targeting previous day's low. So that's my long-term bias on the dollar. So today we open, since I'm expecting bearish price action on the dollar, I can expect price to open and go up first. So price open and push all the way into the volume imbalance that we have here on the dollar. So I'm expecting that volume imbalance to offer resistance for price to start pushing down. And I'm expecting the euro and the pound to start going up. You see how we can correlate our analysis for a stronger bias. Now let's go to the 4-hour. Inside the volume imbalance, the volume imbalance is also clearly seen on the 4-hour here. Now inside it, we have this order block. 4-hour order block, very good. You go to the 1-hour. 1-hour has this bearish order block, and that's what I've marked with this gray box. 1-hour order block, and we've just retraced and we've come and tapped that 1-hour order block, as well as the imbalance, the volume imbalance. So a couple of PDRAs stacked around here, volume imbalance, order block, fair value gap. So that's a very strong area that we can expect price to go down from. Now on the 15 minutes, on the 5 minutes, we have time of day, news manipulation, SMT divergence on the highs, SMT divergence on the lows. So we know that it's time for price to go down. The dollar, it's time for price to go up on euro and then the pound. So that's our correlation analysis. Yeah. And price has started picking up. We are already in some profits now. We're in some profits now. So how far am I expecting the dollar to go today? First of all, I see some these swing lows are gonna be short-term targets, but I really want to see this low, or at least this low, being taken. So certain price, so if not anything at all, price should reach this low. Below that low is still some imbalance left behind. Yeah. I'm overall bearish, but I'm looking for low hanging fruit, short targets that can give me ×3, and I'll be happy. I don't have to target everything. And remember, it's Friday. Not money is loading off their profitable positions, and price can be very, very slow and choppy on Fridays. Yeah. So you don't have to be in the market more than you should be, longer than you should be. But I believe price can reach the level that I showed, the rejection block that I showed you on the daily, this black line. That's our rejection block on the daily chart. So lower prices is what I'm expecting on the dollar, and then higher prices on the pound, and then the euro. I don't really like trading the pound. I like trading the euro more. Yesterday I wanted to trade the euro, but price was not pulling back for entry. That's why I gave a signal on the pound and it moved in our favor, but didn't really reach our target. But euro reached all the targets. Yeah, so
previous, at 17 on the pound,
Come
since
again?
that was the one that took the low, the pound took the low and the euro didn't, would that now be the one that's considered the weaker?
Right. Currently, initially when the move started, euro was the weaker pair
Correct.
because
That's
it
what
first of all took the low, but things can change real quick.
yeah.
Currently, euro is the stronger pair because we didn't take the 840 low, but we took 840 low on the pound. So currently, euro is the stronger pair. That's why it's moving aggressively up, whilst the pound is lagging. Now, I like the euro is highly correlated with the pound with the dollar, and so if it's highly correlated, inversely correlated, and it has the smoothest price action compared to the pound or NZD or AU, AUD, USD. The euro is the best out of these guys. So they're currently in profit. So the same thing on gold. Um, gold, I was expecting price to come to this imbalance so that I can share a signal with you guys, but I didn't come to it. I was expecting price to retrace into this so that I could give a
What
buy
do you see it
signal.
right now? Like, if you just had to look at it, like, what do you think? Like, how
So
do you look at it?
it's the same thing on gold. Our daily bias bullish for the day. We closed through this high very nicely with just little rejection. So I'm expecting continuations. We are coming from this imbalance internal. We've traded to the external, all right. But look at how we traded to it. We closed through it with decisiveness. And so I'm expecting price to just keep continuing up. I'm not trying to catch the top to sell unless it tips off its hands to me. So I'm just looking for continuation. And the target is previous days high, low hanging fruits. Previous days high. So we go down to the 4 hour, then we look for PDRs, right? So we have this 4 hour imbalance. We do that swing into it to find support, right? Then we go to the 15 minutes to look for break of structures. So 8:30 news dipped exactly. 7 open, 7 a.m. New York open. That's where the New York session opens, and it dipped down into the imbalance as well as took this liquidity. So that was the 7 a.m. open manipulation into the imbalance. So, and after that, we had a change in set of delivery, market structure shift. So this one is more of a change in set of delivery, retest. I didn't see these buys coming. This would have been a nice buy. This would have been perfect. Textbook. Did I swing into the imbalance?
9 o'clock too, right? That was like 8:30. That was the
That
8:30
was
news.
that was 8:15, 8:15, and then 8:30 just opening because 7 open has already manipulated. So 8:30 just open and started blasting higher.
Do you trade? But don't you treat gold sometimes as an index?
Yeah, like maybe that's why I waited. I wanted to wait for 8:30. So that's why I have this imbalance here. So I realized that 8:30 just opened and boom, we created this imbalance. So I was expecting a retracement into it to buy, and I don't have a retracement into it, and I don't have an entry. So this happens, and just like yesterday, we were trying to buy gold down here. Price never came to it. It happens at times. You miss your entry here. Everything was in place. Everything was in line. All I was expecting was during New York session, I was expecting a Judah swing to sweep these lows into this order block fair value gap. But that didn't happen, and price just respected the order block and started pushing higher. So we did have the Judah swing, just that we didn't take liquidity. So we opened at 8:30 830 on this bearish candle, and then we started trading down. So that was the New York Judah swing. So as this candle was trading down, I was like, we should get these equal lows and tap this imbalance as well as the order block. So I gave a buy limit order, and price never activated it. And it kept blasting higher. So the same thing happening today, price just pushing higher without coming into this. They're gonna miss trade at times. It's fine. At I refuse to chase price when I miss the entry. I just let it go. I don't chase it. Either I wait for it to come there or it should just do whatever it
Wait for the
wants.
next day.
Yeah. This order block entry is not something I really like. We don't have any imbalance there. But price did respect it though. And then pushed up. If this other block had a nice imbalance, I would have considered it for an entry. So I think the dollar is struggling a little bit, waiting for the news at 10. But we've closed below the imbalance, which is a good indication.
Market opens in 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was so close above this imbalance on the euro. That's also a good thing. Let me check the calendar.
I don't show news on my side at 10.
Your news. You have a news on your calendar at 10, right?
No, I don't. It was at 8:30. I don't have anything at 10.
Okay, on Forex Factory, it is showing as a medium impact news, but on my how to news calendars, I have my FS book, and that is also showing it as high impact news. Why should different calendars show different things?
Yeah, that's wild.
Michigan consumer sentiment at 10, yeah. Consumer sentiment, this news here is showing us medium impact, but on my FS book it's showing us a high impact. It doesn't make sense.
Does it usually is it usually off like that, or no? It's usually pretty.
It happens. But even though it's a medium impact, you can see the folder is is orange. Like this one is just yellow, so it means it has a little bit impact over the regular medium news like this ones. So yeah, at 10 a.m. New York time, this news will be coming out. That will be the last news for the day.
I think that's going to be.
I don't think it will affect price too much. It's just a medium impact news.
It's just people already know what it's going to be because it's revised. It's revised from the last thing here in the United States, so you all have an idea what it's going to be.
And the consensus or the projection is that let me bring back. Where is it? Yeah, the projection is that here the projection is 58.7. Here the projection 58.7. The values are even different for both calendars. But I don't really pay attention to the values or the percentages. All I know is there's gonna be manipulation and for price to continue in the direction that I have predicted. So yeah, respecting both inversion. Respecting both inversions. Now the pound is being very, very strong. You can see the current candle on the euro is red, and the current candle on the pound is green. So the pound is picking up some strength. The pound is picking up.
Did that just break?
So if you go to the 1 minute, if you go to the 1 minute, you're gonna see 1 minute divergences. 100%. Yeah. You can see we've swept this low on the euro. That's corresponding low on the pound has not been swept. The corresponding low on the pound is this level, and that's another divergence. So it is all showing us that our bias is in play. Nothing has changed. Smart money is just accumulating more buys on short-term lows. Yeah. So another divergence here. So smart money is just so if you don't know what you're expecting, you use this as bearish breakup structure to sell. The scalpers will start selling this. But if you see this divergence, you know that this is just smart money accumulating longs on the lows for price to continue higher. It is very frustrating to enter the market and for price to chop around your entry. It's very, very frustrating. So if you don't have the heart and the patience, just set your stop loss TP and walk away. That's your emotions can get hold of you, and within this small price action here, you can be closing and opening trades up and down like crazy. Can be very, very frustrating.
What's the 500 doing right now?
Is it 9:30? Okay, yeah, it's 9:30. Let's check the indices. Okay. So we are having the 9:30 manipulation. Thick bearish candle. So I'm expecting maybe 9:30 SMT on the lows. So let's see. Right now we are expecting both imbalances on the M15. There we go. Yeah, we are having SMC on the lows.
Oh, I see that.
Can see you've taken this candle's low, but we've not yet taken that on S&P 500. So let's see. Taking this. But this is intact.
Yeah.
So if I see a change instead of delivery, market structure shit and things like that, and look for entries.
On the US,
we have Asia highs resting. That could be a target, as well as the previous day's high. Like I said, with the euro trade, we took it very, very early um, um without any change instead of delivery or break of structures. But after the SMT, you need to confirm the structure shift or change of delivery. So this one, you can even confirm the entry on M1, but the ideal scenario will be to wait for M5, which is more reliable. So if you get an M5 CISD, that would be perfect. That's a huge divergence. So smart money is accumulating long positions with the stop losses below this low. Yeah, so let's see if they flip around. This choppy price action can be expected on Fridays. Price usually reverse on Fridays or they consolidate to close the weekly candle. Some of these things can be expected.
You really don't wait. You wait until candle closure, or no?
No, I'm waiting for the flip CISD to the upside. That's when I can be really sure that price is done with the manipulation lower. Then I can look for the bullish continuation. Right, I don't know how far price will manipulate lower. But I can only know that the manipulation has come to an end if there is a change instead of delivery to the upside. That's where you can enter your positions. We are having a very nice displacement to the downside on DSY, so we should be in good profits on euro, the pound. Nice continuations. Good. Oh, good, man.
Jeez. Oh.
Good as maybe you could have maybe entered from this other block. Like when my original entry is missed, I don't know. I just don't feel like entering again. That's me, because I know that I can enter here and price will manipulate back into that level. So I don't really feel comfortable when I miss my initial entry to enter around here. The target has been hit on the, I think, previous day's high. Previous day's high, low hanging fruit target. So if you would have had an entry, this would have been a straight out profit trade, profitable trade. Beautiful. I think it's gonna keep expanding to the rejection blocks up here. So that rejection block will be the next target, I guess. But it's Friday, price can also just reject from the previous day's high. So buyers, power of the way down, change set of delivery, you take your entry. Very, very simple. This is a nice imbalance that price didn't pull back into. You even broke the structure, but no pullback. It's moving really aggressively. Anyway, let's hope that we get a payout on euro. Okay, so then the indices are picking up. Yeah, picking up. As soon as we close above here, that's our CISD, and we can enter the buy position. The same thing for so you can enter any of these. Currently, this S&P 500 is the stronger one because it has not liquidated the corresponding low here.
So that one will, at this point, have a more aggressive move.
Come again?
So the 500 will have a more of an aggressive move up.
Yeah,
when
most
at,
most likely.
this,
Yeah,
at
most
this
likely.
point.
So for the indices, the target can be on Asia highs. It's also relative equal highs on Asia. Same thing here. That can be the target for today. Cynthia, did you enter the trade on gold? The first entry opportunity that you gave, did you enter that here on the CISD?
I had it one.
Yeah, but you were watching it and expecting price to continue higher from there, right?
Yeah.
All right, that's great.
I'll start trading maybe this month.
Okay. You're doing good. You did great yesterday.
I'm not prepared yet.
Come again? Yeah, but you don't need to strive towards perfection. If you're able to get it right 50% of the time with a risk to reward of ×2, you should be profitable.
Yeah.
Because there is nothing like perfection in this market, trust me. You can never, the only thing you can perfect is your emotions, psychology, risk management. That's the only thing you have control over. But for price, you don't have control over. It doesn't matter the information you have. Price will always do what he wants to do. Just that we have an edge with a strategy that often plays out if you read it right. And that's our edge. Yeah. So if you apply proper risk management, maintain your emotions and all of that, it should be good. So yeah, we are in some we are in some decent profits on Euro USD. Decent profits. That's nice. Oh, let's go back to the indices before we miss any entry opportunities. Oh, so very like I said, you never know how far the manipulation will go. So it's better to wait for the CISD to determine if the manipulation is over. The divergence is still holding the lows. We are still here to take that low here. So even this divergence can fail, and then we will form a new M5 divergence. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So divergence with change instead of delivery. That's why really. So this divergence just failed. We've taken both lows now. So we can then monitor for new 5-minute lows to be created with new divergences and a change instead of delivery. Then we can confirm this entry. So can get rid of this level. And now we have this other block we are tapping into. That will be our new level to monitor. But we still have a divergence here, a very big divergence. See this 4-hour candle low at 9 that has been taken on NASDAQ. That corresponding 4-hour low here has not been taken. So that's another divergence. It's gonna be there one way or the other. So we still have a 4-hour divergence here. And we are tapping into another block here. We are also tapping into another block here. Yeah, so we are still waiting for the change instead of delivery. So we still have a higher time frame divergence. can refine the levels to the 1 hour time frame. Oh yeah, that's a 1 hour divergence on this lows.
When it comes into higher time frames, what is that like a stronger? You can stand behind it stronger the higher the time frame divergence, or it doesn't really make
Yeah,
too much.
yeah. Just like I said, I showed you a divergence on the daily chart between the dollar and the euro. I'll go to the euro chart. That's a very big divergence. And it can give you a long-term bias. You can see this high comes in at Friday, 22nd August. On the dollar, we didn't take that high. So let's check the corresponding low. At some point, you can also see the corresponding low being pointed on the euro. You can see the corresponding low being pointed on the euro. Yeah, we took that here. We took that low on the euro. We didn't take the corresponding high on the dollar. So that's a cracking correlation. And look at how we close. Huge, massive rejection. Huge, massive rejection. So that gave me like a long-term bearish bias on the dollar, long-term bullish bias on the euro towards the highs. Yeah. So these higher time frame divergences can also give you a bias.
For the week or
yeah.
more or less.
And going down, going up. So yeah, we're trying to target previous this high up here. Yeah, previous this high up here. I'll try and maximize this move, my profits on this move. I wouldn't take partials too early. Maybe after here, when the price reaches here, I can go on maybe break even. And try and catch some significant movements here. So yeah, that's it. The higher time frame is always stronger than the lower time frame. So that's why you determine your narrative bias or direction from the higher time frame, and then you trade the lower time frame in that direction. If not, if you're just gonna look at the 15 minutes, looking at highs and lows and SMT, you are going to be all over the place because you're going to see countless SMTs. Right, you should only trade SMT divergences that are in line with your higher time frame direction, and it should happen in a key PDRE 4-hour imbalance or order block, 1 hour imbalance or order block, key PDRE.
At the right time.
And at the right time, yeah. Oh, very choppy price action. Typical Friday.
Well, it comes out in like 8 minutes.
Yeah. Let's see if it's gonna have a significant impact. So 10 a.m. Yeah. Let's see. I like how order flow is being respected currently on the dollar. You can see bearish fair value gap. That's the high of the LVG. That's the low. That was respected alongside the inversion. Then we've created a new imbalance down here that we are also respecting. So order flow is picking up. Just that we don't see much speed. Okay, so let's start monitoring these guys on the M5. Like I said, we still have 1 hour divergence, NASDAQ and then the S&P 500. We are looking for buys. So let's see the M5. Should be monitoring closely. So right now, our change in self delivery will be on this bearish candles opening price. The same thing for NASDAQ. If we close above here, that will be our change in state of delivery.
I thought the change state of delivery happens off the highs.
No, this is the last consecutive for one bearish candle. In this case, just one single candle. Now this sells. There was a break between these cells with this bullish candle. So the new cells or the last or recent cells is on this candle. Yeah. If we didn't have any break with this bullish candle, then we would have looked at this level for CISD. For this particular time frame you are looking at, which is the M5, this will be our CISD. But if you go to a different time frame, you're gonna have a different level. So if you go to the 15 minutes, then the CISD will still be at that level. Because we don't have any break, just the cells started from there. Like I said, if you wait for the 15 minutes, you're going to miss a lot of moves. So I'm trying to catch an early entry with the M5 CISD. So yeah, Euro is moving really, really nice. It is hitting, I think that's the first target I gave you, 6745 with the signal that I shared. I gave 6745 for TP. So that's being hit soon. I have two positions. I'll let the second round run all the way towards previous day's high. So beautiful trade. Congratulations. Oh, smashed right there. Look at the dollar. You can see bearish order flow being respected very, very nicely now. I like this order flow here. So nice trade. Now we are targeting previous this high. You can also target this high here. But our ultimate target will be here. Since it's Friday, I don't know if he's gonna get there or not. But you can take profits at low hanging fruit areas, right? And by 11, I'll be done with looking for any more entries. It's Friday. I don't want to. Usually, I'm done by 11. Since it's Friday, I'll just be done by 11 a.m. But the lunch begins at 12. And the lunch is going to come with worse consolidation that we are even seeing here. So by 11, I'm done looking for any more entries. So the trading hour is between 8:30 to 11. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Pushing straight towards the previous the rejection block up there in the daily. That's beautiful. So 2 minutes to the 10 a.m. news. Let's see if we get an aggressive expansion on the 2 a.m. news. 10 a.m. news, sorry. 10 a.m. here. So even if you are not trading, it's good to watch the market live. Look at what you are anticipating for the day and how the profile is printing out and how smart money is pairing his orders on highs and lows. Yeah, that's how you learn. One minute more. I don't know if it's gonna give a significant reaction or not. I don't really know. So there you go. Okay, so we're having some significant reaction with the 10 a.m. news. Okay. And go to the 1 hour. So that's a massive bearish candle on the 1 hour on DSY. So we have some volume imbalance here on the DSY. That's another target. And right around that area is an order block, fair value gap, aggressive displacement, very nice. Displacement here as well. That's good to see. So the market is picking up momentum now. Oh, the pound is performing well. It's performing better than the euro at this moment. So far, let's see the risk to reward that this has given us. 2.5 risk to reward. That's good. For $100, you are getting $250. That's good for a Friday's trading. That's good. So the fact that you are bullish doesn't mean you have to catch all the move up, right? If you're able to get some decent profits, times 2, times 3, and if you're able to do it consistently 3 times a week, you should be profitable. If you're able to catch 3 RR, 2.5 RR, a couple of 3 to 4 times a week, that's good. That's all you need. That's all you need. So after you hit this TP, you can leave a small lot size on to target the previous day's high, and your stop loss would now be a break even. If it gets there, fine. If it doesn't get there, you don't care because you already made money.
What percentage would your stop loss be? Like
You should always calculate it. Okay. Take your time, calculate where you want to place your stop loss. On MT5, you can easily calculate it. You try setting a buy limit, even though it's a market execution, but try setting a buy limit at that same area and move the stop loss. You get to know the amount on it, and then you can change the lot size afterwards.
Like for instance, I guess I just put a stop loss. My stop loss on that trade was like $50, $60.
Yeah. You can also calculate it with the lot size. I'm sorry, with the
I'm just wondering, like, what would you risk on your account? Like, would you be okay with 1% of your
between
account?
1 to 3%. Yeah, 1 to 3%. On prop firms, I would just advise you stick to maximum 1% for prop firms, 0.5 to 1%. But for personal capital, you can go up to 3%. For prop firm, you don't have you may buy a 10K account, but you don't have that full 10K because you are limited to maximum overall risk of 10%. So you actually you're actually handling $1,000, not $10,000. So you have to be cautious, and you also risk 1% per trade. That's like $100 per trade, or 0.5%. That's $50 per trade, so that you wouldn't violate the $1,000 maximum rule. But for personal capital, if you have a personal, if you have a 10K personal account, you can raise $300 on a single trade, and it's not that significant because you still have a lot 10K. Yeah. But for profits, you don't have the full. Yeah, you can do 0.5, 1%, all the way to 30% maximum. Yeah. But since you are looking at multiple, if you are trading one pair, Euro USD alone, you can go up to 2% per trade or 3%. Or if you are trading NASDAQ alone. But if you are trading a couple of pairs, 2 to 3, then you should break it down to give yourself more chances on all of these pairs. Because you don't want to risk 3% here, you lose. You go and risk 3% there, you lose. That's 6%. That's a lot. So if you're trading just one pair and you lose it and you are down for the day, then that's fine. But if you're trading multiple pairs, you should always give yourself more room. So I'll be ending the call soon. If you have any more questions, you can ask me. I'll clarify and continue next week. So TP smashed.
I did have one question.
Yeah,
how would you consider? Would you trade cryptos like an indice or cryptos like a?
I'll treat it. I'll treat crypto like gold.
Okay.
Because these guys, they are moving 24/7. But I'll still consider time. Asia crypto can be active, London can be active. So I'll consider the kill zones within each of these sessions to look for setups. So we are still pushing. I like the momentum. I think we might go to the previous day's high. It's very, very possible. We are having a very strong momentum. So I've closed one position on my trade, and I have 0.5 lot size running. Like I said, the entry was very, very scary because at that time we didn't have any change instead of delivery, or we didn't have the change instead of delivery. I think we had a change instead of delivery here after flipping the imbalance. We closed above this down close candle, so that's a change. That was a change of delivery. You can see from there the move was straight up. Right, since we entered earlier without confirmation, price was chopping around our entry a little bit before it started taking off. So you should always wait for confirmation, unless you are experienced and you want to just jump in like I did. Yeah, if you wait for the confirmation, you have confidence in the setup. You wouldn't be afraid. But for me, I knew it was going to 10. It was going to 10 around. Very strong momentum. I think I'll take one more partial here because the dollar might give a little reaction here. I'll close just another half. Yeah, so
Okay, so
yeah,
there is a change of setting delivery.
yeah.
Do you have to still wait for the maybe and maybe if there is other block or pair value gap, you have to still wait for a push down before you enter or
You can on a normal day I'll enter straight away because
or
trust me, when the momentum is really strong, price wouldn't retrace. You get a chance of delivery and it doesn't even look back. So on a normal day, after this change of delivery, we close on this bullish candle. And still the risk reward will be good. After the closure there, you could enter with stop loss below here. If you're targeting this level, that's times 2. So it's still a good risk reward. But if the candle that caused the change of delivery close very far, and if I enter right away, my stop loss is going to be big, then I will anticipate a pullback to the exact point where we had CISD or to the imbalance that has been created. So this one we had a retracement to the exact point, and that was a perfect entry. So that order block. So the change of delivery creates an order block, right? Like I said, another block is a single candle or consecutive candles. That when the change of delivery happens, that candle becomes an order block. When price retraces to it, that's an entry that you can take from that point. Wow, this thing is pushing up like crazy. So you see how trading can be easy. Like right now, the most important thing about trading is not about the entry; it's about the bias. The entry is easy, right? The bias, because if your bias is wrong, it doesn't matter the SMT divergence, the break of structure, it wouldn't work out. Like this entry that we took, we didn't even have a change of delivery or bucket structure shape, but it played out. So the bias is far more important. After the bias, after finding the bias on the daily, you find supporting PDRs on the 4-hour and the 1-hour, where you expect a Judah swing into it. You look for your confirmation on 5 minutes and 15 during your Q zone, and you take your entry. So you should spend 80% of your time trying to predict where the next daily candle will expand to. That's you should spend 80% of your time thinking, analyzing where would tomorrow's daily candle expand to? Would it expand higher? Would it expand lower? Once you're able to rate that finalization, the entry, you know that you're going to time it within the Q zone, waiting for manipulation, SMT, and yeah, that's it. And trust me, you're not going to be able to identify the bias with ease all the time. It's going to be very tough to identify the bias at times. Because price may be chopping around on the daily. Don't force bias. Just mark previous days highs and lows, session highs and lows. Watch how we react from those levels with SMT divergence. And that's liquidation. Take it to the opposite side. If you don't have a bias, play on the liquidity levels available and how within a Q zone prices reacting off these liquidity pools. But if you have a bias, strictly stay with that bias. Okay. Let's check on so today our bias was bullish on the NASDAQ. We don't get any confirmation, we don't get any entry, we don't lose money. We don't lose money. So it's as simple as that. So the fact that you have a bias doesn't mean it's gonna play out all the time. You're gonna be wrong at times, but if you are waiting for your confirmations, you're not gonna lose any money. And that's it. What's the time? 10:10. By 11, I'm done with taking any. By 11, I'm done taking any trades. Like I said, it's Friday. Even if not Friday, I don't trade after 11. But we are going into the lunch hour where price may just chop around. Gold has been the most beautiful. Gold has been the most beautiful. If I had this entry here, the risk to reward would have been massive. And this was another entry. And there's also one thing about looking at multiple pairs. You're going to miss trades. If I was dialing in on gold alone, monitoring it 24/7, I would have jumped in on this entry here. But it's like you're analyzing this, going back and forth. You might miss some critical entries on other pairs. So I advise that you don't have to be looking at too many things. Your focus is gonna be messed up. It's gonna be all over the place, and you're gonna miss critical entry points on some pairs. So you can dial in on just one or two pairs. You don't have to. If you love to trade EUR USD and gold, that's fine. If you want to trade NASDAQ alone, that's fine. If you want to trade NASDAQ, if you want to trade EUR USD and NASDAQ, that's fine. Just a few pairs, and you dial in, you focus, catch good quality entries, manage it well. Don't be emotional in closing the trade because it's consolidating, it's not moving straight away into your profit. So you think, oh, I think I am wrong, I might be wrong, second guessing and all of that. No. Allow the market to play out. A lot of people would have second guess around here. But once you identify your daily bias, stay with it until proven wrong. Stay with it. Going straight towards previous day's high. Beautiful. Beautiful. See how the dollar is ripping off. Crazy. So I hope you guys learned something today.